5,000 years ago, the day Krishna left the earth, he said, 5,000 years from this day, there will come a golden age of perfection and perfect order. And just before it happens, there will be a pralaya, a time of chaos and destruction in the world. That 5,000 years has elapsed, so that golden age must come now. Maharishi also knew it was coming. He came to earth just in time to save a few people from that destruction. Those awake enough to accept the knowledge he was giving out to the whole world. He said that the golden age of Satyug would come in our lifetime. And more precisely, he said it would come 2020 to 2025. He had a vision of Mother Divine, and she explained to him the coming of pralaya, the coming of destruction. And he asked her to give him some time to usher in a golden age so that humans could survive and live in peace on earth. Oh, we've heard the coming of the new age. Yes, but no one in the past ever stated who would usher it in. Mother Divine agreed to give him some time to accomplish this task. After multiplying himself to create teachers to spread his knowledge and teach millions how to experience themselves as unbounded, he then created groups who would meditate together and perform yajna to even more powerfully radiate harmony into the world. The day he left the earth, he said, "My work is done. Satyug is now inevitable. There is nothing else we need to do." We see evidence of this success in the rising consciousness on earth and in the rising chaos of the pralaya. Both happen simultaneously. The chaos of the world's phase transition. The increase in order and purity creates the chaos. In physics, thermodynamics, cooling brings order, and in creating superfluid helium, lowering helium's temperature toward absolute zero temperature, liquid helium boils up as if getting hot right before it makes its transition. Then it suddenly stops boiling and becomes a superfluid when it leaks out of its own container and defies gravity by crawling up the sides of its container and then dripping onto the floor. If you stir it once, it spins forever, so long as it remains in its supercooled state. In that state of perfect order, it exhibits qualities of the infinite. On a macroscopic scale, as we approach perfect order on earth, first comes the chaos of the collapse of society, then the collapse of governments, then the collapse of economies, then people going insane in the streets, then big earthquakes, a shifting of the poles, and the sinking of continents. Then, like a bolt of lightning at midnight, the darkness disappears. Violations of natural law disappear. The people who violate natural law disappear. Just as Mother Divine told Maharishi that's what she wanted for our planet. And peace and order will prevail for 10,000 years or more. My friends, the present disintegration of our culture is not the New Age. New ideas that are coming up are not the New Age. It's an inevitable period of chaos as the dark age of Kali Yuga comes to an end. It's the opposite of the New Age right now. I've already explained in a previous video how there's an increase in insanity on our planet. Maharishi said that what humans now believe in both political parties, by the way, is a total violation of natural law. That it's a choice that one makes, all these wrong actions, and that it's the wrong choice. It is apparently devolved into one word at its apex: transgender. He said thoughts and actions radiate out and damage the entire universe, that what they do is worse than murder. Our thoughts are far more powerful than what most in the world believe. And if our thoughts are out of step with nature's laws, our powerful thoughts damage the whole creation. Scientists today know that everything in the universe is connected with everything else. Something that was written in the Vedic texts millennia ago. And today, just as it was when Atlantis fell, mankind has made laws that support these violations of natural law. Take a look at what Sadhguru says about it in the link I placed below. He supports transgender and uses vulgar language to espouse it. You know, the most popular guru on earth now. This is how people think now. This is who they follow. Multitudes of people are following this man. Some in leadership are unconcerned with Earth's destruction and global warming and the sixth extinction. Others planned to change the minds of all of society to their side, to make their dark choices acceptable, to make those who oppose it feel guilty for objecting to it, because they say we should feel love for everyone, for any act they care to perform. Total freedom and actually lawlessness in the eyes of God. They have now succeeded. And this lawlessness is accelerating. They have succeeded to the point where children in elementary school are taught that the gender they are born with doesn't have to be permanent. They are allowed to make these decisions before their intellect is firmly developed. If they feel it should not be their birth gender. And parents have succumbed to this new way of thinking because they don't want others to make them feel guilty, don't want to be seen as ignorant or as child abusers. So now they give hormone treatments to prepubescent children. Then they tell their children that in their teens they can have the operation they want. Some, after having the operation, have said publicly that they know they made a mistake, that they made their decision to change their life in this way before their intellect was fully developed. And now they cannot have it reversed. The parents who are mindlessly following the herd in society and encouraging their children are violating natural law. The doctors who prescribe these hormones to children to prepare them for their future are violating natural law for profit. The surgeons who perform these operations are participating in this violation of natural law for profit. And the pharmaceutical companies who manufacture and sell these hormones to the doctors are violating natural law. Are they all just nihilistic and think the world is going to end anyway, so anything goes? Why not just do anything you want? Are they atheists? They certainly do not know about the coming of the Golden Age and the cleansing it will bring. Because all of them have a reckless disregard for the effect on our children, our society, our planet, and our whole universe. All of it in a desire for what they call the New Age of total freedom, no more rules, no more fascism. We're in a new age now. They are all guilty and are ushering in the increase in chaos in the world's phase transition, and they are about to be stopped. It could be smooth, but they are creating the chaos and making it worse. They have a choice: follow the laws of nature or follow generation. You know, the new wise people. The wise ones who rebel against the old men who live in the past. The old men who suppress them. The generation that wears their baseball caps on backwards indoors. In the Vedic tradition, the formation of the intellect happens around age 25, and that's when a student finishes school and goes into the world to work, marry, and raise a family. But now our society has accepted the idea that anything goes. Whatever their child wants is fine. The child rules the parent and teaches the parent, apparently. When someone asked Maharishi when Satyug would come, he said, "It will come after the final war is over." And they asked, "What is that final war?" And he said, "It will be the war against the pharmaceutical companies." We are witnessing the beginning of that war now, a war over the use of pharmaceuticals, synthetic hormones, to prepare children for sex change operations, even in children. And this is the war he was talking about. That means that this final war, when it ends, Satyug will come. We are now watching that war take place in all three branches of our government, and we will soon see that war in the streets. A further explanation of the end of this dark age on earth and much more about the world's phase transition is on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Rick Send this video to everyone. And copy this video because who knows, you might not see it after today. The Sadhguru link is down there.